Okay, so here I'm going to show you how to do question number 2 from the exam. So it's absolute value. Notice what this says right here, absolute value less. So if you go to the notes, here's the exam 1 notes. Here's the sections. These exam 1 notes are right on the home page. Go to the home page of our Canvas course, click on notes, you'll find these notes. You can print them out and use them during the exam. Solving absolute value with greater than, less than, that's what we have. We have less than, so we're on this side. Over here would be greater than, and that's how you do question number 1. But on this one, we're doing absolute value less than. So what do you do? First off, get the absolute value alone. So this absolute value already is alone. What do I mean by alone? I mean like if you had like a plus 10 out here or something, you know, or like a 6 multiplied by the front, you'd have to divide off that 6 on both sides, you know, or if they had a 10 added, you'd have to subtract 10 from both sides. Anyway, we don't have any of that. Our absolute value already is alone. So it's good to go. I can skip that step. Come up here and go check. On to step 2, remove the absolute values and write a 3-part inequality. Okay. So I'm gonna remove, I'll bring it down here, I guess. I'm gonna remove the absolute values. So I'm going to get rid of this and get rid of this and write 8x plus 5 in the middle. Notice right here, it's a 3-part. So you take the absolute value thing, you put it in the middle. No more absolute value signs, right? Those aren't there anymore. They're gone. And then you take the positive 6 on this side and the left side negative 6, and both these symbols are less, aren't they? So I'm going to do that. Both these symbols are less. Put the, what do we have? We have 18. So negative 18 here, positive 18, or just regular 18 there. See how I imitated exactly what they had in the notes? Okay. And then it says solve for x. So do whatever it takes to get x alone. So how do you do that? Well, you're looking right here where x is. And x is saying, I want to be alone, right? In other words, the goal is to get x alone in the middle. So how do you do that? You first have to get rid of this 5. Whatever you do to one part, if it helps you, you can write this like 3 sections, you know, just to help you see it. There's 3 sections. There's a left, oops, that better. There's a left, middle, and right. And you're trying to get x alone in the middle, meaning get rid of the 5 and get rid of the 8. So x can be alone in the middle. Well, whatever you do, like subtracting 5 to one part, you've got to do to all 3 parts. Because that'll keep their relationship, right? The left side is smaller than the middle, which is smaller than the right side. So if that's the case, and you do the same thing to all of them, they'll still have that same relationship when you're done. In other words, they'll still be less. So minus 18 minus 5, what's that? Minus 23. These cancel. And 18 minus 5 is positive 13. Okay, now next step, I need to get x alone. What am I going to do? You know, divide by 8. But if you divide one part by 8, you get to divide all 3, don't you? To keep the relationship. So there it is, minus 23/8 and 13. Now, how do you write that as an interval? Let me just do it up here where you can see it easily. So I would do a number line first. You don't have to. I always show it in the videos. What does this say? X is between minus 23/8. Right here is minus 23/8 and 13/8. And x is between them. That's what this says. Can you read this okay? Let me help you with that. See what it says? It says x is less than 13/8. And less means to the left, right? So here's 13/8. X is to the left of it, lesser, right? Lesser things are to the left, bigger things to the right. And x is what? Greater than. See, he's on the wide mouth side of this. So he's greater than, he's to the right of this. In other words, he's between. Fancy way to say he's between these 2 numbers. And why do we put parentheses instead of like brackets? Well, that's because it doesn't say less than or equal to. If it said equal to, then you're straight on. You use a bracket, which has a straight edge, you're straight on the number, but this is not straight on. It's not equal to 13/8 or negative 23/8. It's just close to them. So that's why our final answer will be parenthesis, not bracket. Minus 23/8 to 13/8, like that, parentheses. And it's just one chunk of shading, right? See how the answer is just one chunk. Whereas if you do the absolute value greater, you always end up with 2 chunks that have the infinities. that's for the greater, like problem number 1. But for the absolute value less, you end up with less sections, just one interval. And so there we go.